awake again. Took you long enough. Guards, leave me alone with the prisoner. But remain close should your services be required. The two of us have much to talk about. You've been unconscious for quite some time. I was beginning to worry that you had pushed yourself past the breaking point. No, do not fear me, old friend. I do not wish to harm you. Instead, I ask you to put your trust in me. I am unarmed. No saber, no blaster, no torture devices to squeeze a few words out of you. I will not bind you with cuffs nor strap you to another interrogation chair. I simply wish to speak to you properly as your friend. And I will put that same trust into you, that you will not turn against me like you started to earlier. If you give me cause, I will not hesitate to call on my guards. Otherwise, what happens in this cell is strictly between the two of us. If you wish to remain silent, you may. But I ask that you listen to me. No. My mask shall remain on. Some recent events have left my face damaged, and I do not wish to expose the wounds to the open just yet. Otherwise, yes, I would be looking at you in the eye. I never did forget you. Even as Skywalker's temple burned, a part of me was sorry that I had to leave my best friend in the rubble. Yes, my best friend. I am not one to dwell on the past, but you are quite possibly my only fond memory of my youth. From the first day of our training, you saw me as something more than my family, more than my potential with the Force. Even Skywalker could not tear himself away from the thought of training his nephew, the so-called next great Jedi leader. In his eyes, I was little more than a handful of clay, ready for him to form in his own image. It seemed like everyone in the galaxy believed I was destined to carry on the Skywalker legacy. But I did not want to be forced to carry a family legacy. I did not want the blood in my veins to define my path in life. You were the only one at that temple who saw my heart, who was willing to sympathize with me. We were just children then. But you were the only one who treated me as such. Only 2 people have ever treated me as more than I appear, and that's the Supreme Leader and yourself. Your spirit, my friend, is your greatest strength. Even though you always said you were loyal to Skywalker, there was conflict within you. You saw our training not as discipline in the Force, but as playground for your abilities. I recall that you gained great skill in hand-to-hand combat and saber dueling, even if you did tend to get carried away from time to time. But you always wanted to prove yourself. even if it meant disappointing our master on multiple occasions. I do not blame you for your ways all those years ago. If I recall, you were, shall I say, the runt of the litter among us at that temple. The odd one out. But you had the most to prove, didn't you? You had come from nothing. Yes, you were a poor, scrawny child, weren't you? You had to clean tables at a shady old cantina, and you barely made enough to keep food on your family's table. And that's how you were living when Skywalker found you. And on his home planet of Tatooine, no less. No wonder he took such a liking to you at first. But all the others he took under his wing, they came from far different lives than you, didn't they? No one had the tough upbringing that you had. They all came from well-to-do families, handed over to become Jedi the slightest sign of skill. You thought you were the lucky one. Honored to be plucked out of your desolate state away from your family for a chance to make something of life. Oh, but the others, they didn't see it that way. To the others, you were a sand-ridden piece of Tatooine that Skywalker had brought along with him. A souvenir of sorts. He teased you, said that the only reason you were there was because he pitied you, that you were nothing more than a starving waste of space that happened to be in the right place at the right time. But you were grateful to Skywalker. You felt indebted to him. You couldn't leave this opportunity behind, so you stayed, and you worked out to prove yourself as a proper Jedi Knight. But he never did truly appreciate your skill. He called you arrogant, stubborn, said that you would never be a Jedi if you remained on that path. You couldn't return to the life you had before. You didn't want to, but your natural talent was being wasted under his leadership. Perhaps that's why the two of us became such close friends. Fate had placed what should have been the perfect opportunities for us to prove ourselves to the galaxy, but Skywalker always managed to find a way to hold us back from our best selves. We were not like the others. We wanted more than what he was giving us in that temple. We were the only ones who saw the others' true potential. You were always there to stand by me, and I, in turn, always stood by you. That's why I still often consider you to be my closest friend. Possibly even something more. My friend, I've kept you alive, despite my better judgment, for one purpose. I want to give you a second chance. I have found my path. I am more powerful than Skywalker could have ever imagined, and that spark still lies in you. I see it. Clear as day. Your talents have been wasted with the Resistance. With them, you do nothing but sit around, watching the new heroes fly by and take all the glory. Let go of the ugly parts of your past and embrace the few happy memories. If you join me, you will not be sitting to the side as an observer. You will not be placed amongst the thousands of stormtroopers. You will not be tossed into the workshop as a mechanic or a radar technician. My dear friend, you will be my right hand. There is still much strength in you. You proved that to me the last time we spoke. Help me show to the galaxy that Skywalker is not the hero he seems to be. He thought we could only be what he wanted us to be. Prove him wrong. Join me, and you will finally be appreciated. Or you can turn your back on me again and continue to defend the name of Luke Skywalker. So, what will it be?